In the world of the Mongols, there is always a strange story. In legend, whoever can find the death worm will also find the tomb of Genghis Khan. In the tomb, there are treasures collected during conquests and military strategies written for Genghis Khan to help him conquer many nations, also known as Genghis Khan's Art of War. Hello everyone, on Top World Secrets. Today, let's explore an unidentified mysterious creature. In Mongolian legend, there's a mysterious bug. It usually hides in the deepest parts of the desert, silently waiting for its prey. It will spit venom and release electricity. Anyone who sees it either dies or is paralyzed. People say this mysterious bug is the guardian beast of Genghis Khan's treasure, because in Mongolia's secret history, it says, after Genghis Khan's death, his tomb was guarded by a group of mysterious creatures. These creatures are called death worms. This legend and record has been passed down through generations among the Mongolians. In 1926, an American explorer, Roy Chapman Andrews, in his book, On the Trail of Ancient Man, revealed the existence of this mysterious creature. This mysterious creature was first brought to attention by outsiders. In his book, he wrote, though today, people rarely see the death worm, Mongolians are very adamant about its existence. There are even many witnesses who provided descriptions of its appearance and habits, and the witness accounts are very similar. Under the wave of the Second Industrial Revolution, a wave of global adventure began. Andrews was an explorer. At the beginning of the 20th century, he formed his own expedition. A major search was launched in the Gobi Desert. In this desert, they found the world's first dinosaur egg fossil nest, surrounded by many Rorothosaurus fossil skeletons. In this desert, many dinosaur fossils have been found. Currently, all are stored in the American Museum of Natural History. During the excavation of dinosaur fossils, while communicating with Mongolians, he accidentally found clues about Genghis Khan's tomb. This clue was a mysterious bug. Many local Mongolians repeatedly emphasized the dangers of the death worm and told him while searching for dinosaur fossils in the desert, if you encounter this mysterious creature, do not approach it. They are usually about 60 centimeters long, though there are, of course, larger ones. They look like a cow's digestive tract, with no head, no legs. The whole body is poisonous. Just contact with it leads to immediate death, even from several meters away, or it could kill by the electric shock it releases. At first, Andrew did not believe these rumors, until one day, Andrew was in the desert. He found a piece of cultural history of Mongol leaders. To celebrate this discovery, Andrew immediately threw a big celebration party. At the party, an old man told Andrew that although this bug was very dangerous, if you could find the death worm, you could find the tomb of Genghis Khan, the greatest treasure of Mongolia, because the death worm is the guardian of Genghis Khan. Its habitat is near Genghis Khan's tomb. When Andrew learned this clue, later, while searching for dinosaur fossils, he found the legendary snow bug before returning home, and successfully found Genghis Khan's tomb. He gathered many treasures around the area, but when he was about to return home with these treasures, he was accidentally captured by the locals. After some negotiation, they confiscated all his belongings. They only allowed him to bring dinosaur fossils back to America, and permanently banned him from entering again. Back in America, in anger, Andrews published his book, On the Trail of Ancient Man. In the book, it says, in that desert, there's a giant insect. The locals call it the death worm. This mysterious insect lives in the deepest part of the desert, in the driest area. Its shape is very strange. It can spray corrosive poison. It can also emit a strong electric current. It can knock down people or animals within 15 meters instantly, then slowly devour its prey. This creature is about 50 centimeters to 150 centimeters long, with a diameter similar to a human arm. Its body is reddish-brown, with black spots. It usually hides in the desert. Every year, when the rainy season begins in June and July, it will surface. Its shape is very snake-like. But finding this mysterious bug, we can find Genghis Khan's tomb. There are countless treasures in these records. The bug became a secret that Western explorers dream of. This feeling is somewhat like the plot of One Piece. Roger announced to the world when he found the treasure, making all pirates excited to go to sea to find it. Andrews did the same. He said in his book, Genghis Khan's treasure is there. Explorers, go find it. With the sale of Andrews' book, it's just like the plot of One Piece. Countless explorers have set foot on this desert. Until now, there are many explorers in the Gobi Desert, searching for this mysterious bug. And many explorers are searching, not to find Genghis Khan's treasure, but just to see if this world has that mysterious bug or not. Among these explorers, there was one named Pat. When he explored this desert in search of the death worm, he earned the trust of the locals through wrestling. A local nomad named Purev told him one of the locals was acting as a guide. When they were driving on the road, they spotted something on the roadside. They pulled over to see what it was, and the guide started warning, "Don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's a very dangerous animal. Stay away. It's a death worm." And the tourists might not have really understood his language. Or maybe they just ignored him. They drew some gasoline, poured it on the creature, and then the creature actually exploded. Although the story is fascinating, but there is still a lack of more solid evidence. So Pat contacted someone named Chime, a nomad of Meg. She claimed to have seen the death worm with her own eyes. She said, when she was a child, while playing, she saw a dead worm. She called her family to see, but seeing it from a distance, her family immediately told her to stay away from it. It was the death worm, a very dangerous creature. So Pat always wondered, could this death worm actually be a type of snake, or a giant earthworm? So he pulled out some pictures for her to identify, and she ended up denying that it was the creature she saw. And to find the death worm, Pat decided to use thermal imaging. For the more arid areas of the desert, he checked all day, and after 3 days passed, he only found a few venomous snakes and small insects. Pat couldn't find the death worm, so Pat thinks the death worm is just a mythical creature. In the real world, such a strange form of life cannot exist. Later on, many explorers ventured into deeper sands. They detonated explosives to lure out the death worm, but the result was still nothing. Based on the habits of normal animals, if an explosion occurs, they will react quickly. Even we humans do the same. For example, if you're sleeping and there's an explosion outside or a loud noise, you can't help but get up to check. So if there truly were a death worm in the desert, after an explosion, it would quickly react and be discovered by people. But the explorers didn't think so. Some explorers believe it doesn't react to explosions. Thermal imaging didn't detect them either, because they aren't afraid of fire, and they are all cold-blooded animals. They prefer dry places, which means they fear water. So these explorers used water to drench specific areas, but the result was still futile. At present, aerial sound detection, thermal imaging, and other technological means have also failed to find the legendary death worm. Most people do not believe the death worm is real, since the mythical creature wasn't found. Could it be that another creature was misidentified? The death worm is said to release toxins, deadly venom, or could it be some kind of venomous snake? But snakes don't discharge electricity, and there aren't many creatures that can discharge electricity in this world. Those that can and resemble the death worm are only electric eels. Electric eels can rely on the muscles along their tails, strengthening their nervous system and cells, releasing a strong current. But this species lives in water. It certainly doesn't exist in the desert. If you disregard the toxic spray and electric discharge and only focus on appearance, many types of snakes resemble the death worm. Those snakes are very similar to the records of the death worm. They like to rest in deep sand. They prefer to live in dry places. Every summer, from June to July, is also their active period. They also develop black spots on their bodies. This is similar to the death worm recorded in Andrew's book. The habits are almost the same. These types of snakes, Pat once showed to the local herders. They also clearly told Pat that snakes are not death worms. Personally, I don't believe this creature is real, but there's no doubt that Genghis Khan's treasure must be buried under this desert. Alright, that's the end of the video. If you're interested, please follow the channel for more secrets. Thanks, see you next time.